I really would love to give our moms out there who are going through their first trimester just some really key tips that would just help them make it a little bit easier.
A lot of women can relate to really bad first trimesters because it's rough, and sometimes you feel like you might be the only one going through it, and I don't think anyone understands unless they've actually experienced a really rough pregnancy. The number one tip that really was to listen to my body and to actually follow through with practice what I preach, because I would always tell my pregnant clients, listen to your body. If you're having a rough day, try to rest a bit more. I know it's not always realistic for everyone with their jobs and stuff, but try to rest where you can and be gentle on your body.
How would you manage your day? And it's interesting that you said you felt the nausea was worse when you were tireder, just from the eating point of view, because we do know that why women really struggle with nausea is because the hormones create superficial blood sugar drop. Just with exercise, just be kind to your body. If you can manage to go for it. If you can't, just relax in it. A time will come when you feel better. Everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Baby. And today I have one of my favorite guests, and she's becoming almost like a co-host on the show, and we are excited to be going on her journey of pregnancy and hoping you can relate your journey of pregnancy to that. So welcome back. It's so nice to have you back here. And hopefully we're going to be enjoying this journey with you, and hopefully you're feeling better than the first time when we spoke and introduced your pregnancy to everyone. So if you can just remind everyone what you do, what your specialities and your passions are.
Hello, thank you, Kat. Thank you so much for having me almost co-host part of this podcast. I love being a regular. My name is Anneke da Silva, and I'm a pre- and post-natal exercise specialist, doula, lactation consultant. So love everything pregnancy and postpartum. Pregnancy since we last spoke is a little bit better. I think anything at this moment feels a bit better than my first trimester, so I'll take it. I'll run with it. I'm excited to still share this journey, and hopefully, like you say, a lot of women can relate to really bad first trimesters because it's rough, and sometimes you feel like you might be the only one going through it, and I don't think anyone understands unless they've actually experienced a really rough pregnancy.
100%. And I think based kind of coming off that, I really would love to give our moms out there who are going through their first trimester just some really key tips that would just help them make it a little bit easier. So you get the exciting news that you're pregnant, but you're kind of leading up to it. You suspect it because you're not feeling great. If you had to reflect back on that time, what would you say would stand out particularly from the point of view of just how you felt and what you did about that, especially like how you started your day? Because I also want to remind everyone you've got a toddler or a young little one.
Well, she's 4. She's turning 5 next year.
Okay, so you've got a 4 or 5-year-old, but she's still little. She still needs your attention. She needs to understand. I remember we spoke about it last time that she was quite empathetic as well and caring, but you still needed to mother in the day. You couldn't just check out. And that's the reality for a lot of our moms. So maybe just start with what would you say would be kind of your number one in just how did you get going in your day?
Sure. So I think my day looks a bit different than most women. I get up 3:30 every morning because I've got 5 a.m. clients already. So I would get up in the mornings. Luckily, then the rest of the house is still sleeping. But the mornings where I really felt like I couldn't get up, I think I'm lucky that I could write their workouts on the board and I could continue. So I think the number one tip that really was to listen to my body and to actually follow through with practice what I preach, because I would always tell my pregnant clients, listen to your body. If you're having a rough day, try to rest a bit more. And that was in the very beginning a bit hard for me to to have to put myself first and tell the clients, listen, the workout's on the board, but I need to rest a little bit more today. Because I really felt like those days where I did get up 3:30 in the morning, it was worse. So I don't know if it was linked to being a bit more tired, the nausea, but I really did feel the day where I slept less, the morning or all day sickness was worse. So to just actually listen to your body. If you're having a rough day, that sounds so cliche because everyone says it, but if you're having a day where you are really tired, I know it's not always realistic for everyone with their jobs and stuff, but try to rest where you can and be gentle on your body, so that you can actually get that little bit of extra rest in some way. I think it also helped that I've got a very good support system. My husband really stepped in with the first, I'm 16 weeks now, and I think I only started feeling a little bit better around 14 weeks. And he would really step in with bath time at night or wherever it was actually needed, so that if I needed to rest, or if I just didn't feel well, so that I can say, you know what, I actually need to go lie down a bit. So I think also having a really good support system around you, and if you are someone that's maybe in a corporate job or you don't have that that gap where you can go take a nap or anything during the day, hopefully you are at a job where you have a boss that understands that what you're going through, that you can say, listen, I'm pregnant and this has been rough, so that you can have a little bit more grace with you.
Fair enough. Yeah, I love
great.
that. So, but yeah, I totally hear you. I love those first two tips that you gave us, just to really rest. Rest is so, so important. Listen to your body and have grace for yourself. So important. And then also to get your support structure engaged. And just to say and ask for help. You know, sometimes I think our partners want to help, but they don't know how to, or what actually we need in, or other friends or family members. And so just to reach out and actually tell people, actually, this is what I need, not expect people to kind of read the signs. It's, I think, really, really important. So, yeah, I love that. So jumping from those two tips into how would you manage your day? And it's interesting that you said you felt the nausea was worse when you were tireder, or you had kind of started a bit earlier. How would you manage your day then, the rest of the day, especially I'd be very interested just from the eating point of view, because we do know that your blood sugar dropping can also make you feel nauseous. And that is one of the reasons they think why women really struggle with nausea, is because the hormones create a superficial blood sugar drop. And so we do encourage new moms and in the early pregnancy stage to eat frequently but small amounts throughout the day. Would you say that was something that you found, and how did you manage it?
So along with the nausea, I really struggled with zero appetite. I remember that was one of the, I love food and I love eating. Like, it's really people who know me, not that I mean like unhealthy and binge eat. I love food, and I think it's the whole social thing around, I don't know, I love eating. It's never been a problem for me. And I completely lost my appetite. So I really had to force myself to actually eat. My husband would constantly remind me, have you eaten? What have you had to eat today? Because otherwise I wouldn't eat, because that would also make me nauseous. So on top of not eating and having that hungry hole in your tummy, because that would also trigger it, the nausea. And then I would eat and I would also be nauseous. And I could never pinpoint any type of food that actually made me nauseous. It was day to day different. But I would, if I got up in the morning, I would have, what porridge did I have? Oh, Cocoa Pops, weirdly enough. I would go make a bowl of Cocoa Pops, and I would just have that so that there's at least something in my tummy. And from there, the day was different. Then if I actually managed to get to the gym, I would have a protein smoothie. I felt meals high in protein actually, it kept my stomach fuller for longer. So then, I didn't have an appetite for a lot of things. So at least if I could have a proper protein smoothie, the one I usually have has a lot of dates in. It's got protein in, it's got banana in, oat milk, and I think peanut butter. So it really kept me full for quite long. And then I would probably only eat again at night. And if I did snack in between, it would be strange things like sour worms. For some reason, that really helped keep the nausea at bay. Or then like nuts, or really something small. Also dry toast. That's, I think, a regular thing that's maybe a more common thing. But yeah, I would try to eat because I think I also felt like I was starting to stress that the baby wasn't getting any nutrition. But yeah, it was difficult because each day looked different. Yeah. So, but I would try to have a bowl of porridge in the morning, and then I would just manage the day from there.
Okay, yeah, I love the idea of smoothies, and I think that's such a good tip for moms out there. So tip number 3, moms, is really just find easy ways to get in the nutrition, and don't beat yourself up too hard if you're eating things that you wouldn't normally eat, like Cocoa Pops, for example, but just because you actually need to sustain yourself and just get that kind of meal in. And
Yes.
what's very encouraging, and also just, for us to remember, is that in the first trimester, the baby kind of lives off the yolk sac. So they are protected in that way, indirectly, from us eating poorly or not eating enough or not eating the ideal balanced diet, by having their nutrition through something else. It's only really towards the end of the first trimester that the placenta and the umbilical cord feeding starts to really kick in. And we really then encourage our moms to really start focusing on all the good nutrients and everything like that. So I love the smoothie idea, and I love that smoothie recipe that you gave. And there's also some good, I know Future Life now have got a brand called Mom to Be, and it's really a wonderful brand, and it's got nice bars in it. So it's a quick on the go stuff that you can kind of bite size, make it easy, not too difficult to stomach, because sometimes a savory big plate of food just feels totally overwhelming. You just can't go there. So yeah, so I really think that finding those nice different options, smoothies, those Future Life range of products, which we know are really grounded in good science, those are really good options. So tip number 4, what happened to your exercise regime during the time? and what, from your point of view as an expert, I'd love you to just kind of tell us what you feel mom should be looking at in that first trimester exercise wise.
So I think because my 2 pregnancies were so different, with Aliana, I still went with listen to your body, but I was never ever this sick, or I never felt as bad as I did with this pregnancy. So I could kind of power through. I could still go do my workouts and, get through the day. But with this one, I think because my nutrition was bad and I was throwing up a lot, I lost weight. And I think all of that really took a big toll on not just my physical health, but my mental health as well, because it really gets to you. I really had to make the decision of, when I got up, when I had a day where I felt, some days I was so depleted or just so tired, exhausted, that going to the gym would have been a bad decision. As many benefits as there are for exercise during pregnancy, you should also use your common sense. I can barely get through a class with my clients, and then I want to go nap. So is it really going to be beneficial if I now go put more strain on my body with an exercise session?
So good, yeah.
During my first trimester, and it was actually such a bummer, because I was about 2 or 3 weeks pregnant already. I just didn't know it yet. But we had this fittest competition for our local gym here, and our team actually won. And it was such a high. I came up from this, we just won this major competition. And then the very next day I found out I was pregnant, and because the symptoms just like this. And
switched on.
Yes. And I think in my first 12 weeks, I was maybe at the gym 5 times, because I couldn't go. I was exhausted. My body was depleted. I was in the hospital. I was on drips permanently. So only from about week 12 or 13, I think, I really started going 3-4 times a week again. And now I'm back to going 3-4 times a week. But I still, like last week, I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday, I was pooped. I think also we catch up to me. And I stayed at home, took an extra nap in between my clients, and I'm trying not to be too hard on myself about that. And get sessions in where I feel and I can actually get through them.
I think tip number 4 is definitely exercise. We both fans of, it's so important, and we're going to go more in depth in that as your pregnancy progresses. But you need to listen to your body and listen to yourself. And if that's coming from an expert in fitness for moms who are pregnant, guys. And she said she only managed to get there about 3-4 times max in the whole 12 weeks. Then you need to be kind to yourself and just listen to your body. I think it's so important. Such good sound advice. Yeah. And then we've got time for one final tip. What would you say would be a final tip that would just help our moms out there get through these early weeks of pregnancy?
Do what works for you. I know, like I say, again, you just mentioned from an expert in the field, and it's easy to always tell my clients, do this. This is what the framework looks like for a healthy pregnancy and blah, blah, blah. But do what works for you to get through your day. If that is napping, if you've got the time, if you have a job that maybe gives you that time frame or space to do that, sleep if you need to sleep. If you need to go to bed at night at 7 when you put your other toddler to bed, go to bed at 7 if that's the time when you've got to sleep. Eat what you need to eat that makes you feel better within the health guide. Don't go buy KFC 5 times a day, obviously. Like, I'm always very do what you need to do, but still be smart about your choices.
Yes.
And I know this is I've always like a life motto. I feel like I want to get a tattoo this big on my forehead that says grace. Like with my pregnancy and my birth with Aliana, throughout her toddlerhood so far into this pregnancy, it's really just been a word and a term that has really just stuck with me. And it's just to have grace with yourself, and you only realize that when you are in a situation where you need to have grace with yourself, and you need to remind yourself that it's temporary, it will pass. So for now, do what you need to do that gets you through the day, and that gets you to still be present for if you have a toddler at home. But do what you need to do for you to get through.
That.
Listen to advice, but decide who you take advice from, and then adjust, apply
Adapt it for.
adapt for you, and just still be conscious of. I'm always trying to just work it around still being healthy, because especially with nutrition, I know there are a lot of moms that just go haywire and they just eat everything, and that's also not necessarily the best thing. Still try to work around your being health conscious, but still do what you need to do to get through. So
I love that.
And grace. I think everything gets you through.
Thank you. That's so helpful. And so I think moms, remember the word grace. Let grace keep you going in these early, grace for yourself and grace for others around you who are trying to also figure out what they can do and how they can help. And just to recap on our 5 tips, the first one being just to rest when you need to. If you're at work and you need some rest and time out, just speak up, tell people. Maybe you come home and you just have a sleep before you get dinner going. Just find moments and gaps in your days to rest. Enlist help, speak up, tell those around you, your part, and people that really love you and care for you, that want to help you, give them practical ways that they can help you. Just make sure that you are eating as regularly as what you can, because sometimes, as we said, low blood sugar can exacerbate the feeling of nausea. And at that tip, we spoke about smoothies and maybe some of the bars that you get for pregnancy, like the Future Life ones, because it's difficult to eat a whole balanced protein meal at that stage, but it's a lovely way to get protein in like a smoothie drink or something like that. And then also just with exercise, just be kind to your body, listen to your body. If you can manage to go for it. If you can't, then just relax in it. A time will come when you feel better and you'll be able to go back to your regime of exercise. And then the last tip is just do what you can do. So whatever that looks like, listen to your body, listen to yourself, keep within the frameworks of all the good information out there. But most importantly, be kind to you.
Yes,
so thanks, moms. And thank you. And I look forward to the next one as you go into what is potentially becoming the honeymoon phase. And we get, not yet. Anyway, we'll get to talk about some of those practicalities and some other tips, how to keep eating sufficiently, but not overeating, like you said, how to keep exercise going, but not over exercising, how to keep our mental health good, and we will get Jenny involved in that chat as well. So we look forward to that. So thanks everyone for joining us again. Thank you, and we will see you soon, and we will see everyone soon. Thank you.
Thank you.